The universe was moments away from total erasure. A creeping darkness threatened to dissolve everything from the earth to the heavens, all triggered by a single disastrous miscalculation. The deities of this realm found themselves facing their own mortality. To secure their survival, they needed to extract Amrit, a potent, mythical nectar of immortality hidden deep within the cosmic ocean. But the gods lacked the sheer physical force required to reach it alone. They had to forge a desperate pact with their sworn ancient enemies, the Asuras, or demons, pooling their massive collective strength for an impossible engineering task. Self-preservation forces dangerous compromises. To secure the prize of eternal life, the creators tied their fate directly to the forces of chaos. This diagram models the mechanics of that physical experiment, an event known as Samudra Manthan. The alliance used Mount Mandara as a central rotating axis. Around it, they coiled the massive serpent king Vasuki, using him as a biological rope to forcefully churn the ocean. Generating this level of unnatural rotation produced immense compounding friction. Deep at the base of the mountain, the intense thermal energy began to destabilize the waters. The experiment cracked under the pressure. Instead of yielding the life-giving nectar they calculated, the severe friction violently expelled a byproduct called Kalakuta, a highly volatile, lethal cosmic poison. The Kalakuta erupted outward as a heavy, dark cloud. It began instantly corroding the ocean floor, rapidly ascending to dissolve the earth, the sky, and the upper realms where the gods resided. In their aggressive pursuit of eternal life, the Alliance had accidentally engineered a chemical chain reaction that was rapidly suffocating the universe. They had no mechanism to contain it. Far above the panic, isolated in the freezing peaks of the Himalayas, sat Mount Kailash. Here, the atmosphere was entirely still. The desperate gods realized their ambition had doomed them. They needed an entity completely detached from the desire for power, someone whose mind was entirely unmoved by the chaos of the cosmos. They brought the crisis to Lord Shiva. Presented with the immediate threat of universal collapse, Shiva showed no trace of fear. He did not ask for a share of the nectar in return. Instead of trying to deflect or destroy the expanding toxic cloud, he opted for a radical biological solution. He would use his own body as a living containment vessel. True authority reveals itself in moments of absolute collapse. It is measured by the willingness to absorb the heaviest burden when everyone else is fleeing the fallout. Shiva approached the volatile ocean, gathered the concentrated, burning Kalakuta into his bare hands, and lifted it to his mouth. The churning stopped. The escaping gods froze. For a few agonizing seconds, the entire ecosystem of the universe paused, simply to watch death enter the body of a deity. As the lethal liquid passed his lips, Goddess Parvati recognized that if the poison reached his stomach, it would destroy him from the inside. In a split-second physical intervention, she firmly gripped Shiva's neck, clamping down on his throat. The poison stopped descending, but it was so intensely radioactive that the trapped liquid burned through his flesh. The sheer concentration of the toxicity permanently scorched his throat, turning it a searing, brilliant blue. The containment strategy worked. By locking the volatile hazard precisely in the throat, halting it directly between the mind and the body, the immediate threat was neutralized. The cosmic ecosystem stabilized. The dark, corrosive clouds fractured and dissolved. The violent storm broke, allowing a calm, stabilizing divine aura to settle over the earth. From that moment, Shiva carried a physical record of the disaster. He became known forever as Neelkanth, the blue-throated one. This leaves us with a fascinating paradox. The deities who successfully drank the nectar of immortality are worshipped, but the one who drank the lethal poison commands absolute, unparalleled reverence. We often define leaders by the rewards they capture, but true endurance relies on the capacity to process pain, absorb the destructive forces of the world, and actively shield others from the damage. When the friction of life inevitably produces toxic hardship, the story of the Neelkanth offers a blueprint. A deadly burden, when accepted willingly, transforms into a permanent symbol of strength. Only the entity capable of sustaining life, possesses the supreme fortitude to swallow death for the survival of the whole.